I would highly stress that we should know these things. Okay, I've already put that in there because it benefits us in the long run. Plus, it makes you not sound like somebody said stupid or somebody said they were talking about something. The person said, "Man, it's a state court, not federal court." And then they kept talking. He's like, "Man, fuck all that." And they didn't throw him out, but they just moved it on. And essentially, issues that he could have raised, he wasn't able to raise. And yeah, I like this part right here about the fundamental error doc. This right here is very important, I think, and it could be applicable in probably a number of child support cases. I got the fundamental error doctrine, impact of due process, reapplications. Yeah, this is also important here about this, the fundamental error doctrine. And you know, you hit those, let me show you what happens when you, here. Keep in mind that a lot of this stuff may vary from state to state, but don't ever get rid of your own defenses or any of your own support. Show y'all something. See that? When you hit that link, it gives you all right here.
Word.
See how that works. Utilize your resources. And also, this is a resource I think is great for a lot of people. I use them all the time. I go to the lawyer pages and look at lawyer resources because they kind of, you know, even if you don't agree with it, they walk with attorneys. I have no issue with them. And read their blogs. They give you a lot of this stuff that can be beneficial. I don't know who this guy is, so fair use. I don't know who this guy is. Okay, pin citing. You see this right here? Therefore, requiring a specific contemporaneous objection prevents unnecessary appeals, which could have been avoided had the party given the trial court an opportunity to correct the error. And then it gives you the case law. It also prevents a party from strategically allowing errors to go unchallenged by objection and then later trying to use that error to a client's tactical advantage. There you go. Actually, this is great. And I just happened to just hit that from there. So let's go here. See, preserving errors for, and let me tell y'all something. I cannot overemphasize the importance of making sure you put your objections on the record and or making sure you have a court reporter at your proceedings. When you get to the appeals court, you will have the appeals court will be looking at a transcript or be looking for a transcript. And you know, in Florida, we go to 12.481.491 when you vacate. Like when I vacated the hearing officer's recommendation, I went and got the transcript, put the transcript in the record because that's one of the requirements. If you want to vacate the recommendation and set it for a judge, the judge has to review the transcript. Or the judge has a duty to review the transcript, and that came from Gregory versus Rice. But here you go, and I'm talking about in Florida, so you want to put in your state, or this is Florida, to preserve an error for review and possible correction on appeal, a party must make a specific and contemporaneous objection to the perceived error. There you go. This is a Penn site. When y'all hear me saying, you know, see Stein first versus State, I say 412 SO2D 332, 338. Watch this, people. Y'all are watching the screen, right? Y'all see the same screen?
Yep. Yep. I see it.
Y'all get that? And if you go to 338, whatever they show right there, see that? Pull it right there. So that's what a Penn site is. Take the court right to what the state, right to what the other, another court held. And when you see that, that means the Florida Supreme Court. In order for an argument to be cognizable on appeal, in order for an argument to be cognizable on appeal, it must be the specific contention asserted as the legal ground for the objection, exception, or motion below. A specific contemporaneous objection means that the objection must be made immediately after or very shortly after the error occurs, and it must be specifically addressing it must specifically address the perceived error. Now, there's a way to get around that, but we've already gone over that. The purpose of this principle is the purpose for this principle is that many appeals can be avoided by requiring parties to give the trial court an opportunity to correct the error. Y'all see that? This is actually a great article that we stumbled on. You see that? When a trial court does something wrong, it is usually due to simple oversight. Y'all see that? Not to screw over the other party. And that is a very important one right there. Despite how we may feel or anything else, do you all see that? When a trial court does something wrong, it is usually due to simple oversight, not to screw over the other party. It is very possible that if immediately brought to the trial judge's attention, the error can be easily corrected. I know we may have different stories. If the error is corrected, then a potential appeal has been avoided. Now, if the trial court doesn't, okay, then that's another issue.